All right, apparently we are live.
Welcome to In the Garden. Is that what we're calling
Want to try that again?
Well, I mean, heck, this is perfect. We'll just be running.
Yeah, if we just want to keep it in, that's totally fine too. We'll leave that for Carter to decide.
Welcome to the In the Garden show. I'm here with Jake Hughes. My name is Gideon Marlatt. We have a bearded Texan in the room. His name is Carter Brown. He's just silent. Yeah. And I think that's supposed to be his job. He's just making sure that we don't mess up too many times.
Yeah. So just a little bit of an introduction about us. We are all from a house that we call the Herb Garden. What was the other name that was given to the Herb Garden before?
Gimli House.
The Gimli House, yeah.
It was, roaring fires, meat ripe off the bone, that sort of thing. Yeah. It actually never happened, but...
Yeah. We thought it was, about time that we started our own podcast, and we thought we'd start it off on the right foot. Today we're reviewing a movie called Cars 2. I have a whole soundboard of vocal effects. Here, Gideon, say something real quick.
What's up? Yeah.
So as you can see, we're going to be having a lot of fun here. Let me go ahead and give a little bit of a summary of what the movie is about, in case you haven't seen it. I mean, this movie it's not new, but it's not that old either. I mean, Cars 3 came out a couple of years ago, and then I think it was in the early 2010s when this came out.
If this is spoilers, I'm sad for anyone who's out there.
Watch the movie. Yeah. Watch the movie if you haven't already.
Well, we're here to decide that.
We're here to discuss. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why we're not starting with Cars 1, but I mean, this is how it is.
Yeah.
So, I love this movie. This movie is my childhood. I personally loved it better than the first one. You can, give me hate mail if you want because of that opinion. I mean, in my humble and accurate opinion, it's one of the best Pixar movies, if not the best Pixar movie. I don't know. It's hard to say, but after reading some articles, it seems that this movie is rated the worst Pixar movie amongst the entire Pixar audience. Worse than like Turning Red and The Good Dinosaur, which I think is blasphemy.
Oh my
honestly.
Gosh. Wow.
I mean, if you've seen The Good Dinosaur or Turning Red, I saw Turning Red. Turning Red was absolute garbage.
Cars is gospel to you?
It's
gospel
Cars,
to people.
The Cars franchise is, canon to the Pixar movies.
I'm just half expecting you to go on this, those YouTube Christian rants where they take movies that are weird, but they somehow pull like Christian themes out of this. It's like, say it's a Christian movie. You're like, wait, aren't we watching Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah. Well, Cars 2 it has a redemptive story arc, so let's start there.
there you go.
All right, race.
That was Jake Hughes's viewpoint of it, but my viewpoint is one of. Oh, I feel him moving towards the soundboard.
Oh, I'm so ready. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
Well, no, my view is I watched this when I was 11, and then I had to rewatch it last night just to, get some fresh memories in there. And it reminded me of why I have not watched it for 10 years. That's just...
You're not a fan of it?
No, I'm not a fan of it.
You think it's a bunch of...
It's... maybe not that far. I mean, I just feel... Well, okay, let's read the review and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is getting fun, but...
Okay, so the summary of the movie. Race car Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson... Wow, right? Wow. And his tow truck buddy, Mater, played by Larry the Cable Guy, Peter Dunn, have had their share of adventures together, but nothing like what they experience when they head overseas for the first ever World Grand Prix. When Lightning has his eye on the road to the championship, Mater takes a detour to international espionage when he meets British master spy Finn McMissile, played by Michael Caine, and stunning spy in training, Holly Shiftwell. Just off of that description... I mean, when I heard about this movie, I was ecstatic. I really wanted to see it because the first Cars movie, it's classic Pixar. Everybody loves that movie, but putting a new spin on it is just like, oh yeah, this is what sequels were made to be, right?
I mean, it's Cars 1 is great just because it's the story of, I don't know, the superstar that's kind of lost his way. He's just too full of himself, and then he goes and finds like actual humanity in some rural part of town. I don't know. There's a fun part of Pixar or Cars 1 that I think Pixar missed on Cars 2, just because it honestly it feels like two stories jammed into one. Oh man, and we're great. We're great. It's this whole story of.
But that's what keeps you on the edge of your seat, right?
Sure. When are they going to switch to the next story? Man, this is
like racing, British espionage. I don't know. I just young me really really loved that idea.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, it was my favorite Pixar movie that I had ever seen.
Well, no,
maybe it's because I'm trash.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to see just how much crap they can shove into one car and like cool ways of pulling it out.
Yeah.
I mean, the opening scenes, what's it? Finn
McMissile.
Finn McMissile. Man, that's a name. Finn McMissile.
Name your first child after him.
Yeah, right there. Gosh. Finn McMissile pulls out a sticky bomb or magnetic bomb, magnetic tires, if I remember correctly, a few guns out of his fenders, and then he pulls out, he goes into like hydroplane mode, and then he goes into submarine mode, and he's got a few extra, like four tires in the back of his trunk.
How cool is that?
Gosh.
I mean, this movie hits close to home for us because I will say we're students at New St. Andrews College, and freshman year we have a class called Rhetoric. And I remember...
How is this connected?
Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you.
It's like...
We had to do what's called a declamation, and we had to do a media review of a movie.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember this, but I, of course, did Cars 2 because it's my favorite Pixar movie. And one of my classmates, his name is Jonah, did the opposite. He roasted Cars 2. And this started a really heatful debate in our class.
There was no like communication beforehand, right? Just between you two?
Well, there was a little bit of, I told him I was going to, praise Cars 2. And he didn't tell me that he was going to roast it. So I showed up that day. I think I can't remember if he went before me or after me, but it caught me by surprise. He was just like, Cars 2 is Pixar's worst movie. The critics are right. The audiences are right. And I was just like, you have betrayed me. He's like he's one of my longest lasting friends. I've known him since second grade. And at that point, I just felt betrayed. Honestly. If you're listening right now, I do better. No, I'm kidding.
Jonah, you just got called out.
Yeah. How's it going, Jonah? Please listen to more episodes.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do for our remaining time here is read some reviews of this movie and just basically discuss it.
Yeah. This one.
I think we just got to dive into the deep end right here. This movie. I'm looking through the 1-star reviews of this movie. And this one caught my attention.
1 star. That's where you get the real truth.
1 star. Yeah. I mean, the movie overall got like 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really, really bad for Pixar standards.
Yeah.
Pixar movies are up in the 80s and 90s usually. Well, Cars 9 was in the 80s, I think.
I'm curious. After this, I need to see what Rotten Tomatoes gave. Not like Rotten Tomatoes, not Rotten Tomatoes themselves. Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes. Since we're in the Cars theme, Rotten Toyotas. No, it's like since we're in the Rotten Tomatoes thing, we need to figure out what they gave a rating to like Red Panda and The Good Dinosaur.
Turning Red.
Yeah, that thing. I have not seen those, nor do I wish to. But anyway.
I don't recommend them.
Okay, yeah. Wait, you've seen them?
I saw part of The Good Dinosaur. I had to turn it off because I was so bored. Turning Red, I watched the entire thing almost, out of spite because my sister and I were talking about it. We thought it looked, we thought it looked really bad.
Yeah.
And we were right.
Yeah, I mean.
But I don't know. We just wanted to watch it because this is what the new generation of Pixar viewers is viewing. I mean, I saw this Instagram video the other day. It's just like what our children today are growing up watching, and it's clips from Turning Red, and it's these girls that are like fangirling over this boy band, and he's like versus what we grew up with, and it's a scene from Kung Fu Panda. It's the scene where Po is fighting Tai Lung. It's the epic final scene. It's just like, man, how times have changed.
Yes.
You know, it brings you the kind of nostalgia. And it's like kids today are not going to realize, you know, what, you know, good writing there was back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kung Fu Panda is another one of those time. It's not Pixar.
Slaps.
It's DreamWorks, but
that movie slaps. That's just, it's so many.
Let's watch that later tonight. Huh?
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, so
next podcast.
So this review caught my attention. This one is titled "This Movie Ruined My Marriage." This movie is full of really bad spelling. I mean, the review is. The review of this movie is full of really bad spelling. It's a really short review, and I'll quote it to you word for word. Ruined my mirage. Never walk gain. Hat film no good. with two O's. Yeah, no good.
Is this, what is it? I'm afraid to assign a race, but this sounds like someone who's.
Did we just get? Are we going to get canceled if he says this?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
No, it just doesn't sound like someone. Someone is either super pissed off or just is unable to speak English properly.
Yeah. A lot of these are kind of like along the lines of this, you know, ruined the first movie for me. This one says it's the longest Chevron commercial I've ever sat through.
Yes. Well, you know, they have the Chevron cameo in there, right?
Yeah, they have plenty of, This, the first worst movie Pixar has ever brought in. This movie is boring. Don't waste your money. All that sort of stuff. There's a lot of reviews about the fact that this movie is rated G.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you watch the movie back after a period of not watching it, I can't relate. But
56. Oh yeah, 56 deaths. There you
56 deaths in that movie.
Well, okay, but
for a movie rated G. I mean, it's not like they're graphic or violent.
No,
but some of these reviews are saying it should have been rated R.
I don't. Yeah, see, but that's kind of the genius of Pixar films. Is like, I mean, you were talking about like Kung Fu Panda. That's not quite a Pixar film, but
it's DreamWorks.
Yeah, but like still, it's this sort of like well done, kind of intense. Well, okay, yeah, like let's take Incredibles. Incredibles is a Pixar film, and everyone thinks it's fantastic because it is. But like that thing is just all about. I mean, the man, Mr. Incredible, finds a computer and finds a long list of people who have been killed. Like, yeah, no, that's fantastic children's content.
This movie is dark if you look under the surface.
I know, right? And then he and even on that, under the surface, goes in under the waterfall and finds a skeleton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As a kid, I was like, man, that skeleton's cool.
Yeah, Pixar really knows how to, draw at our emotional strings.
Yeah.
And that's all emotions across the board.
Depressing jobs, anxiety, job loss.
Yeah,
family
all of the
trauma,
above.
Parents almost divorcing, fighting, implied relationship.
Sure.
I mean,
relationship tensions and all that.
Well, implied relations between mom and dad.
Oh.
Like, wow, you somehow were able to sneak that in past everyone?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Speaking of, drawing at our emotions in these Pixar movies, this film, Cars 2, is scored by the same one who scored the movie Up. And we all know how that movie made us feel.
Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
Also, I got to say, the film score for this movie is excellent. The themes are catchy, and it's really, really well done. And I'm a music nerd, so I notice all these sorts of things. The film score, it really adds to the movie. I mean,
yeah, I am not. So, I mean, I'd have to listen on like Spotify, the whole soundtrack. But
I can't tell you how many times the Finn McMissile theme has gotten stuck in my head randomly during like class. Honestly, it's a great score. But yeah, a lot of these reviews, it's not like anything what people expected a Cars sequel to be, which I kind of personally believe that's the beauty of it. That's kind of what I liked about it. Just like, oh, this is a totally different turn of what Pixar usually does. They've never done a spy movie.
Yeah.
I mean, Incredibles it's a superhero movie. It's action packed, but it's nothing to the extent of, what Finn McMissile and Holly Shiftwell are capable of.
But it's like, okay, if you're going to do a spy movie, do a spy movie and just a spy movie. Don't like piggyback it off of the backs of a fantastic movie about cars.
Yeah. And another thing we should mention is a lot of people don't like that this gave Mater a redemptive story arc. They don't like that it gave this side character,
Keep him in the gutter.
Yeah, they made Mater. It says that Lightning McQueen is the main character of the story. It's not really. It's not really true. The summaries and everything you read is like, this movie is about Lightning McQueen. It's like, it's not really. It's not at all. I mean, Lightning is more of a side character.
Yeah.
I mean, in the entire movie, Mater is the one that drives the plot forward.
No. See, that's one of the reasons why I think I could call this a like 2-story movie.
Yeah,
is because Lightning McQueen has this redemptive arc, like pushes away friends, learns how he shouldn't do that, and then is like forgiveful or like asking for forgiveness at the end. Mater has this whole espionage. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the things that they do is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It just seems crammed. I think if you pulled out the Mater story, it'd be pretty fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I can definitely see where they got the whole Mater's dreams or Mater's
His hallucinations.
Yeah. There was a whole series about that. I'd never really watched it.
He was tripping on something. I don't know what, but
Lightning, I found some mushrooms out in the field. You want to try some?
oh man, someone's going to take that sound bite and use it against you. If you're listening and you have those means, use this, spread it around.
Yeah, no, there's many things in life that people should have made sound bites out of.
Oh yeah,
I've said but
yeah. NSA students who listen to this podcast are going to have a party with this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Anyway,
hey, Gideon.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of these. Okay, going off of the reviews. Yeah, this movie sucks. This movie blows. Mater doesn't deserve to be the main character. I'm so happy that Cars 3 forgot everything this movie had to offer. Cars 3, dare we mention, is a terrible movie. I think we can all agree.
We have a roommate who thinks it's fantastic.
Well,
it's at least above 2. That's what he says.
Okay, he can have that opinion. I mean, obviously he shouldn't vote, but yeah, if you think that Cars 3 was a good movie,
hey.
This is why I'm not in politics. If I was part of this city's civil council, it would not go well.
You have a horrible opinion. You don't get to vote.
You don't get to vote if you think Cars 3 was a good movie. All right, I think we'll bring it in for a close. We'd love to have you guys listen to more episodes, but I think what we can draw from this episode is that, Cars 2 is not for everybody. It's only for, people who have had histories with Pixar and, really love the new directions that they're going. Back then. I should clarify. The new Pixar movies have been really awful, but
straight
classic
trash.
Disney. I would just say classic Pixar is embodied in Cars 2.
Honestly, on a serious note, I'm very interested and curious to see where the next kind of under the mainstream, but fantastic writing, that's sort of like next animation studio, where that pops up.
Sure.
Because, there was... animation came around and there was a lot of crap out there. But then you get Mickey Mouse, the original, like Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And then you kind of lose it in some trash. And then you get Pixar and its fantastic stuff. And then I don't know, there's just been trends up and down.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious.
We should talk about more classic Disney movies in future episodes. That'd be fun.
Yes.
We should revisit those.
Beauty and the Beast is just an analogy for my life.
Really?
No,
which one are you? Are you the beauty or are you the beast? That's the question at hand. We'll discuss that next time.
I would hope you would assume the Beast. Actually, you know what? Scratch that.
You're the beauty?
No, just for the sake of the podcast, I really just want to call it Gaston. But I don't know if I have the muscles to back that up, but
You should introduce yourself in every future podcast as, "Hi, I'm Gideon Gaston Marlatt."
Yeah, there you go. Do we have a Gaston filter? That would be
a Gaston filter. I mean, I got this. It's not exactly it's not exactly related, but here, just say your favorite Gaston line in this voice.
Gosh, A Gaston? I mean, this is how close I am to Gaston. Remembering lines on the spot. I'm struggling.
I'm looking through these. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's not use that.
Sing the Gaston song in this voice.
We're back to the high pitch. Oh my
All right,
God.
we've wasted enough of your time.
I know. Is the last 5 minutes of this just gonna be voice?
Yeah, every podcast will be like
This. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We have just reviewed Cars 2. We highly recommend you see it. Well, I recommend that you highly see it.
I recommend it if you want to waste a few hours. Mom's folding laundry, wanting to
It's
put the
a good
kids-
background movie.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
This is In the Garden with Jake Hughes and Gideon Marlatt. Adios.